What's going on, everybody? You are now tuned into Planetary HQ, the planetary headquarters for all of your celestial information. I'm Deadrick Baker, ex-Debake the Wise, joined by my brother Taylor Verser, and today we are continuing with a session from the Urantia Context. The Urantia book, one of the juiciest cases in UFO history. This is part 3, so if you want to stay up to date or kind of catch up to where we are currently, go check out the previous 2 live streams. We got a lot of juicy tidbits of information in there, but we're not even halfway through the chapters, so if you want to pick up here, feel free to do so. Dang, dude. How the universe manifests different systems, whether it be physical systems like an asteroid belt circuit, a solar system, or how does the universe create mental systems like the human mind and even animal types of mind? And also, how does the universe create spiritual systems, treating each other nicely or stealing from each other? You know, all of these different type of dynamics and relationships can become integrated into a way that is sublime, is a technicolor dreamscape. And that's what we're trying to paint today by talking about these concepts and by even just putting out our YouTube channel, trying to use our personalities to add to the canvas of society, because this planet is like a blank canvas. And if you rise up and use your mind, body, spirit potential, you can put your little thumbprint on it and you can leave your mark in history. So that's why we're digesting these deep concepts. We're hoping to be like the modern day Socrates and Aristotle doing cosmic philosophy. But yeah, we're reading from the Urantia Context. Paper 42. What are we at? Section 1, part 12. My book isn't numbered right now, but I know we're in section 1,
13, right?
Section 2.13. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm not cool. I don't have a numbered book right now, but
all good. And let's hit him with I can give him a little summary of what we last talked about.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome back, everybody. This is the part 3 of how the one became many, how the infinite source consciousness, starting with mind over matter, splits out and manifests the universe that we live in, and how we become individual fractals in the image of God, free will beings down here, looking up at the sky, wondering what's going on, and just getting tossed around in the dryer of the spaceship as we're flying through space in the spiral motion of our solar system, and we're just being like, whoa, like it's a real roller coaster. And yeah, the world of disclosure and science are now going to be heading head to head about the nature of our universe and our place in the universe. And there's a lot of spiritual questions, a lot of consciousness questions, there's religious questions. And lo and behold, there is a contact case going as far back as 1911 is the estimated date that this contact case began. And guess what? It talks about the merge of science, religion, and UFOs and the Space Brothers. It talks about why the cosmos is populated, how it all begins with the primal consciousness, the infinite consciousness at the very top, God. It talks about how other civilizations all come to a same conclusion about the existence of God, and that they call God by different names in different sectors of the universe. But at the end of the day, they're all referencing the same source of the universe, because we are intimately connected to that source. In fact, we cannot have our own true thoughts and free will without it coming from that source. So how do we get from mind to matter and energy? That's the paper that we're studying today. And the last sort of bit that we were getting into was sort of pre-gravity and post-gravity forces, and the way that the celestial aliens, the divine councils, actually classify this material energy spectrum. And so they give some top-level stages. They talk about first what they call space potency, which is like this existential potential energy, which comes from the existential I am. God is just always there, and that is like a static potential for energy, but it's unmanifested at that level. And they call that absoluta, that which is absolute. And that's sort of that primordial force. And then you get into what they call the first differentiation from that potential energy, that infinite potential energy. There's then, I guess, manifested the pure energy in motion, sort of like kinetic, and they call those emergent energies. And there's what they call puissant energy and gravity energy. And that's the pre-gravity and post-gravity stages of energy. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but we're going deep today, and it's a little bit sciencey, but it's gonna be enlightening.
No, you kind of summed up the last couple live streams pretty well. I don't want to get too deep into those weeds again because we just did that. So I guess let's keep moving on. But yeah, the 3 different stages of cosmic development, I guess you would say. They talk about the vacuum being the first stage, and they call it like just the potential, like the container of space, and that they call that what, absoluta, and that's right. And then they go on to classify that is pre-gravity, so that would be called force. And then when it's post-gravity, it's called energy. And energy, they break down, comes after this absoluta stage. And then there is a different stage, and then puissant energy and emergent energy. We're going to get into it, I guess. Hopefully the other sections will reiterate and wrap it all up together for us in one nice package. So you want to start reading? What exact paragraph are we? I can start reading. I just want to.
Yeah, I think we're right about at that 42.2.13. We are quite uncertain regarding the exact causes.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. We are quite uncertain regarding the exact causes of the early stages of force evolution, but we recognize the intelligent action of the ultimate in both levels of emergent energy manifestation. Puissant and gravity energies, when regarded collectively, are spoken of on Uversa as ultimata. Okay. So puissant and gravity are both ultimata, and those are emergent energies. So that's when energy gets classified on the scale of God downstepping like a transformer. Okay, and that was what I was thinking of in the beginning. So there's absoluta, and then segregata is that one we weren't talking about. That's that pure energy. They call it like undifferentiated energy, just pure energy that everything gets its source from or gets its energy from. If you can think of the source just pouring energy into our cosmic dimension, then that would just be pure segregata. Before the segregata can go, there needs to be a container, and that would be the absoluta. And then when those two interact, I guess, ultimata comes out. And that was energy emergent. That's the first time those concepts had ever gone through my mind and come out of my mouth. And I was just kind of like smiled. And I'm like, holy shit, am I understanding it? Like, yeah. Nice. I'm getting the mental pictures. All right, let's keep going. Hope you guys are enjoying it as well. And again, hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, because we talk about crazy shit. Number 4, universe power. Space Force. Space Force, did Trump write this? Space Force has been changed into space energy. Ooh, is that the next evolution? We're going to go from Space Force to space energy.
Department of Space Energy, hiding the celestial UFOs.
Space Force has now been changed into space energy, and thence into the energy of gravity control. Thus has physical energy been ripened to that point where it can be directed into channels of power and made to serve the manifold purposes of the universe creators. This work is carried on by the versatile directors, centers, and controllers of physical energy in the grand universe, the organized and inhabited creations. These universe power directors assume the more or less complete control of 21 of the 30 phases of energy constituting the present energy system of the 7 super universes. This domain of power energy matter is the realm of the intelligent activities of the domain of the wait, This domain of the power energy matter is the realm of the intelligent activities of the sevenfold, functioning under the time-space over-control of the Supreme. On Uversa, we refer to the realm of universe power as gravita. Okay. So it's saying everything we just talked about lumped into one group is called gravita.
Universe power, because they did define like force versus power. So universe power, let's see, this was at the start when they said,
Yeah, right.
let's see.
Energy and force, that's what they were talking about. The
force
difference
is applied to pre-gravity and power to post-gravity stages of energy.
Yeah, then look at the next paragraph. It says, adopting the following classification for cosmic force, emergent energy, and universe power. So force, energy, and power. And then universe power, I guess, is physical energy. Okay.
Power,
so the
post-gravity.
the whole what is it? Absoluta? Segregata?
Mm-hmm.
The whole absoluta, segregata, ultimata, that is all force and emergent energy, and then when those interact, it creates universe power, physical energy. Okay, so we get our universe physical energy from the interaction of cosmic force and emergent energy. Wow. Damn, niggas getting this shit over here contemplating the cosmos, boy. Okay, nice. So that's just another triad, another trinity: force, energy, and power. It's correlating to mind, body, spirit, thing, meaning, value, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, force, energy, and power. Cool. The key to the universe is thinking in threes, baby. That's tight. Hope you guys are understanding this.
We'll lose like a viewer every 5 minutes so far. Checking out, being like, absoluta what?
What? This is crazy. That's cool. They'll hear it in the future and be like, oh my God, I remember these two guys talking about this 20 years ago on this YouTube channel.
Yeah. This is 0 point energy, guys. If you want to know how the UFOs work, you want to know how these interdimensional beings are able to traverse time and space. If you want to build a UFO, you need to understand the nature of energy.
Yes.
We're kind of missing some top level. We think that like 95% of the universe is what we call dark matter, meaning that like it has, I guess, energy or mass or something, but we don't know where it is or how it is, like how it's classified. Maybe it's because it's in like a frequency range that we have yet to really be able to observe and measure, but we can see that the effects, there should be matter there. Like there should be something here, like it has to be there. We can see like effects of it. But yeah. And so this is sort of breaking it down at a high level. This basically said, this book claims that it was written by an extraterrestrials. So consider this your extraterrestrial science lesson, and that's why this is called ET Consciousness and Unified Field Theory. So you are sitting in on a rare classroom setting. Sometimes I wonder, like, if there were like real alien beings in front of us and they're like, sit down, we're going to teach you, everyone would tune in. Oh my God. We'd be like, we're showing real aliens teaching about the universe. But
everybody would tune in.
But there's a caveat with, I guess, how this book was compiled. They're not yet wanting to reveal themselves face to face with humanity. Instead, they give us the knowledge first. They say, you want to know about aliens? first you need to study the thought forms from aliens. If you can acclimatize yourself to the extraterrestrial thought forms, then you may be ready to actually meet the beings face to face. Because there's quite an evolution, there's quite a level of self-control that is needed to not, you could say, lose your shit when you're confronted with something that unknown. And this is why all the angels, when they show up in the Bible, in like right in front of somebody, they're always like, fear not.
Be not afraid.
So I guess in a sense, we can be thankful that that this is digestible, that there's no beings showing up in front of us being like, did you read that? What do you think? And we're just like shaking in our boots. So.
All right. Keeping it going. Gravitas as universe power. Number 5, Havona energy. In concept, this narrative has been moving paradise-ward as transmuting space force has been followed, level by level, to the working level of the energy power of the universes of time and space. Continuing paradise-ward, there is next encountered a pre-existent phase of energy, which is characteristic of the central universe. Here, the evolutionary cycle seems to turn back upon itself. Energy power now seems to begin to swing back towards force, but force of a nature very unlike that of space potency and primordial force. Havona energy systems are not dual, they are triune. Ooh, shit.
Whoa.
And elsewhere in the Urantia book, it says Havona is the pattern universe and the master pattern. So, for all you sacred geometry nerds out there,
when it says not dual, I'm trying to like break that down. I know it's probably hard to imagine, but some things that come to mind is an energy system that's not dual. Okay, well, one, like binary computers is a way of using electricity to go about dual, meaning there's like ones and zeros. The electrons are sort of energized negative or positive, kind of like a magnet as well. And that represents sort of two states. But then, like, what's another dual system? Kind of like picture a sine wave. You can either be like above the line or below the line. Yeah, there's positive, negative. How would we even conceive of a triune system there? Yeah, hot, cold, light, dark. Like, what's the third option?
It's interesting. Now I'm thinking like 3-body problem. What's up, Magma?
Say what you were going to say, and then I got a response to that as well.
I was saying, like, you have 2 celestial bodies exerting a gravitational force upon an object. That object is going to lean towards one and lean towards the other like a pendulum. It's going to get pulled by both. If you add a third gravitational body, now that object's going to get pulled in 3 directions, and the sine wave isn't going to look like a sine wave anymore. It's going to look like a different pattern. And so maybe their reality is just based off like that. Like there is no positive and negative. There's a third aspect no matter what. And like batteries need 3 ports, positive, negative, and a schmegative,
neutral or ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy of the 3-body problem because it makes the system more unpredictable. My analogy would be RGB. You got 3 colors, 3 different colors that interact with each other to make the full spectrum of light, or
interesting.
red, yellow, blue.
That's a good one.
How you're doing it. Triune system, baby.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to tear apart the analogy too much, but it's still hard to conceive because even light waves are measured in frequency, which is called cycles per second, is hertz. And so even cycles per second are measured in a sine wave up and down. So those 3 LEDs are still 3 dual systems. That's why it's so hard to really conceive.
The Father and the Son and the Spirit are like 3 phases of reality, not really vibrations. They're like different dimensions of reality entirely.
Well, you know how the Urantia book says that there's 7 super universes, and all of the 7 super universes represent one iteration of the Trinity mixed together. So, like, the
Yeah.
first universe is only based on the Father. The second universe is based off the Son. Third universe is based off the Holy Spirit. Fourth universe is based off the Father, Son. Together, that's a dual relationship. The fourth super universe is Father, Spirit. The fifth is Son, Spirit. Six is, what is it?
Father, Spirit.
Father, Spirit. And
Yeah,
then
Father,
seventh is
Son.
Father, Son, Spirit, all three together. And we live in the seventh one that has all three energies combined. I don't know if it's, I would say perfectly balanced, but we're working towards being perfectly balanced in the very end state. So you can consider all of those other universes dual, right? Unless it's like a singular primary universe where it's just the Father, you know? So I don't know if there's those
Yeah.
atoms maybe function differently, the atomic structures vibrate differently. I don't understand. I don't know, but it might have something to do with that.
Yeah, it still kind of brings me to the color analogy, like
Yeah, that is
red,
a good analogy.
yellow, and blue, and then through those combinations you can get orange, green, indigo, and violet through different degrees. So it's like the 7 different combinations of the 3 give totally different, like, distinct flavors to its manifestation. So each super universe likely has a wildly different flavor and character to it. Very interesting. I could see something like that with our personalities as well in some way we can't quite comprehend, is our personalities are different degrees of influence from paradise patterns.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like built in. Yeah.
I love it.
Good stuff. All right. Let's keep it going. Where am I? Where am I? Right there. Boom, 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 boom. This is the existential energy domain of the conjoint actor, the Holy Spirit, functioning in behalf of the Paradise Trinity. On Uversa, these energies of Havona are known as triada. Transcendental energy, number 6. This energy system operates on and from the upper levels of paradise and only in connection with the Absonite peoples. On Uversa, it is denominated Trenosta. Trenosta. They don't say very much about that. I guess it doesn't really
Huh.
apply to us, only Absoniters. So like, we'll tell you the name, but we won't tell you about it. Number 7, Monota. Energy is close of kin to divinity when it is paradise energy. We incline to the belief that Monota is the living, non-spirit energy of paradise, an eternity counterpart of the living spirit energy of the original sun. Wow. Hence the non-spiritual energy system of the universal Father.
Ooh.
We cannot differentiate the nature of paradise spirit and paradise Monota. They are apparently alike. They have different names, but you can hardly be told very much about a reality whose spiritual and whose non-spiritual manifestations are distinguishable only by name. Damn. That's crazy. So Monota. Monota is that hot shit. It kind of sounds like manna, right? The bread from heaven in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Paul
Oven.
talks about.
It's like
Yeah.
divine nutrient.
Oh, the Ovens talk about the
They
manna.
they said it was from
Yeah.
them. They said they eat
Oh,
that
of
every
course.
day.
I think these Theobans are probably just really good at traveling the universe and claiming that everything is them.
Yeah.
They're galactic hustlers. Yeah, that was us. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's cool. Okay. So Monota, that's the Riz from the original Sun. He just walks around and drips this shit off of him. So here, have a bag of Monota, my
It's
son.
like UFO slag from
Yeah,
the Trinity.
That's interesting. So if I'm interpreting this correctly, it says Monota is the uh, l- eternity counterpart of the living spirit energy of the original sun. Is that implying that is basically like the spark of life in a way, like that is the energy that animates life. I mean, I know this is like pre-atomic energy, right? Like this is before the stage of forming atoms, I think.
I don't know, but good question. Because as we kept
Mhm.
reading, I thought it was stages, but now I think they're just different classifications. I don't know if it should be thought of as
Maybe.
sequential.
You could be right because each one probably plays a role. It's not just like the
Yeah.
the evolution of the energy or the refinement, it's more like the different flavors this energy takes on, and it has different applications based on what kind of energy it is.
Yeah, and this
Yeah,
is
in the beginning, it just says, like, I will endeavor to lessen conceptual confusion by suggesting the advisability of adopting the following classifications for force, energy, and power. So, yeah, they're just giving us classifications out. And I think they're kind of doing it in sequence, but not really, It's not like a hard sequential thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
it's
All right,
interesting because
let's
it
finish this part
classifies
up.
here that hence the non-spiritual energy system of the universal father. So the universal father is who it ascribes to emanating like all of
Physical,
gravity and the physical energy
yeah,
that
your
we see
rocks.
segregated out to here. But it's saying that there is a living non-spirit energy that comes from the sun. And then maybe later in the paper, it'll say where that comes into play, if it even does down at this level of creation. But it's like, I guess each person of the Trinity is emanating a type of energy or a type of radiation. And from the Father, it gets measured in the physical universe as energy. But for the Son, who sort of represents, yeah, I don't have anything else on that. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it almost seems like because Jesus had uh, the divine minister, the mother spirit, his like little Nebudonia, his consort. It almost seemed like the eternal son also has his wife too, right? Whatever her name was, and maybe that's where this energy is getting derived from for spiritual and non-spiritual counterparts.
That
Just
would
something
make
to throw out
sense.
there. Yeah.
So Walter Russell had this concept of a masculine and feminine counterpart of energy in the universe. The divine masculine and like on a physics level would be the combustive force. Anything that radiates outwards, like radiation, or centrifugal force, something spinning around and projecting outwards. And the divine feminine would be the consolidating force, like what holds an atom together, or uh, gravity sucking in,
Yeah.
centrifugal force, like a
Like a
vortex.
star would be the perfect example. 'Cause it's a nuclear force
Both.
exploding outwards and then gravity pulling it inwards at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. So I could see that with the sun and the spirit and different levels of energy being like masculine and feminine are more abstract levels beyond just what we interpret as like personality or gender or something like that. It's like a universal cosmic principle. Pretty cool.
Built into the system, man. All right. We know that finite creatures can attain the worship experience of the universal Father through the ministry of God the sevenfold and the thought adjusters, but we doubt that any sub-absolute personality, even power directors, can comprehend the energy infinite of the first great source and center. One thing is certain: if the power directors are conversant with the techniques of metamorphosis of space force, they do not reveal the secret to the rest of us. It is my opinion that they do not fully comprehend the function of the force organizers. These power directors themselves are energy catalyzers. That is, they cause energy to segment, organize, or assemble in unit formations by their presence. Wow. So that like big ball that we showed in the last live stream, I can't pull anything up right now because I'm on my phone. People, if you haven't noticed, I got some technical difficulties on my laptop. I got hacked. Yeah. So if you get any messages from me on Discord or something weird, like, here, try out my video game, don't click it because my computer got hacked. Fucking Chris Ramsey,
Crazy.
Area 52, shout out to Chris Ramsey, sends me a message and it's a fucking virus. And I guess his account got hacked, and then they use his account to get my account.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy, dude. We're dealing with it now, and it's a nightmare. But yeah, I'm doing this. It's not going to stop us, and we're doing the live stream from the phone today.
That AI breakdown of the file is wild too. Like accessing all the cookies and saved passwords of all your devices. Good God.
Yeah, so I just had to change everything.
Yeah, we hacked the hack. We put the exe file that was actually bogus and actually running scripts to steal all your browser cookies. Put that in an AI, and it actually was able to like get into some of the code inside.
That's
and
so cool.
you know, give a little analysis on the damage report and the next steps. And
the only way to get rid of it is a factory reset and wipe,
or pay the $100.
Yeah, right.
To the hacker.
So we can not do it and then be like 200 more.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you trust these fools? Fuck that.
Yeah. Don't they know they lost your trust when they hacked you?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We don't believe paying them is gonna make it all right.
Right. It's gonna steal my money. Like, and I'm even more of a fool.
You know, without going on to too much of an aside, the parasitic psychology there is pretty wild. I went through that once. Someone contacted me on Discord and said, "Hey, I'm so sorry. This was all my fault, but your Steam account has been hacked, and Steam support wants you to call this number or something like that." And I almost fell for it. My heart was racing. I'm like, "Oh no, I'm going to lose everything." And then it kind of clicked after they're guiding me through this process. I'm like, "Wait, Steam support would never contact me through Discord." I looked it up, and sure enough, it was a scam. Oh, good God.
It is funny that these social engineering scams basically pull the NPC out of you.
Yeah.
Like they train you on psychological triggers that like you don't think twice on. And then they get you. Or they create a situation that's normal.
People, man.
Yeah.
So it's like you're on 606.
Yeah, man. Fucking bullshit. I don't even want to talk about it. I hate the bullshit.
Flip it into
but
words
we got
of
a new
power
house,
at the end.
and that's amen, baby. That's fucking
Silver lining.
feeling happy about that. All right, let's keep going. So they can just assemble universe reality just by pulling up.
Just by shutting up.
Their swagger is so nice. They get out the whip and stars appear.
Yeah.
Crazy. And all this implies that there must be something inherent in energy which causes it to thus function in the presence of these power entities. The Nebadon Melchizedeks long since denominated the phenomenon of the transmutation of cosmic force into universe power as one of the 7 infinities of divinity. And that is as far as you will advance on this point during your local universe ascension. Damn. Thanks for the class, Angel.
Wow.
Notwithstanding our inability fully to comprehend the origin, nature, and transmutations of cosmic force, we are fully conversant with all phases of emergent energy behavior, from the times of its direct and unmistakable response to the action of paradise gravity, about the time of the beginning of the function of the super universe power directors. Okay, cool. So I guess whoever narrated this paper exists at a lower level of the cosmos because it talks as if this presented by a mighty messenger of Nebadon.
Of Nebadon, so they're still in the local level.
Yeah, they're still in Nebadon. And by the request of Gabriel. Wow, it says this paper was given to us on request of Gabriel.
That's cool.
Are the mighty messengers
to build the UFOs?
Yep.
Are the mighty messengers finalitors who achieved a specific function? Or are they lower?
Mighty messengers.
That's a good point. I remember reading about that, and they are. It is an order you can be assigned, I think, as an ascending human, or
Are they
like
finalers?
either that, or I think a seraphim
I
could be
think mighty
assigned.
messengers are finalers, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
checking. I think it's a
finalitars.
finaler that gets Trinity embraced.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
'cause
for
I do remember a paper that said that you have the chance of becoming a mighty messenger if you want to.
oh wait,
You
I didn't
qualify.
find the full quote, but mighty messengers do get trinitized. So for context here for everyone in the chat, and what's up, Shauna? Donating with the 333 coming in clutch. Thank you so much.
Hey, what's going on,
You
Shauna?
got it. You got
Appreciate
that super
that.
chat in. Much
Nice.
Gotta
love.
put her in the drawing. Do you have any
Um,
questions, Shauna? Put them in the chat.
we're
Is
gonna
that
keep a
attached to a
list.
question?
333.
Right now, it's not. But Shona, we're gonna keep a list of questions linked with super chats that would be asked to like our guests, kind of the bigger interviews that we do.
I'm gonna have to
So-
go on speakerphone in a second to charge my phone.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, Shauna, since you already dropped a super chat, if you want to leave a question you can think of, it will be asked to one of the amazing interviewees we'll have on the channel. Yeah, about this whole thing is presented by Mighty Messenger, which probably operates on the local level of the universe. We have the opportunity of ascending beyond that and gaining more information, but it said that is as far as you will advance on this point during your local universe ascension. So once we get past that point, we'll be primed to understand things a little better. But I do kind of think, like, even though we can't fully comprehend a lot of the concepts in this paper, it could be enough of a hint to get us going in the right direction, like you were saying, to build the UFOs, because we don't, like, as a species, we don't fully understand what electricity is or how it works, but we understand really well how to control it to do all kinds of miraculous wonders. So we might not necessarily need to understand how cosmic energies that we haven't discovered yet work in order to actually make use of them.
I did find the definition here for Mighty Messenger. This is at 2223. So for a little lesson from the Ascendant Career, the manual of classes that you can take and will eventually take as you traverse the universe. This is Taylor Verser speaking, and please strap in your seatbelt. So as we proceed into the center of the universe, we actually have to become more spiritized to travel further on, because the gravity force coming from the central universe, the source and center, is actually extruding outward from the center of the universe. However, our goal as ascenders is to eventually find the access point to more directly meet and be in the full presence of the Universal Father, because that is the most complex mystery. That's the paradox of this age, the nature of the infinite consciousness source. And in order to study anything on this planet, you can listen to other people talk about it. You can listen to some people who've been there and come back and tell you what it's like, but nothing beats experiencing it yourself. So we're out here using the scientific method in the afterlife, and we're like, we got to get to the full presence of the Father. How can we attain such a high stage of spirit existence? And to do that, we need to shed the layers of our energy bodies that we attain as we rise up in the afterlife. And as we shed those layers, we become a more subtle matter, which is closer and closer to spirit. And when our thought forms are in full harmonic convergence with the eternal thought forms via the divine light within, the higher self, the thought adjuster, upon that ultimate synchronization, once we can hold that pattern and our intent is truly synchronized with the intention of the Trinity, God the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, then we become what they call fused. and this fusion happens, and you become what's called like a true spirit being. Your status in your form is you're more than just like an astral being now. You're a pure spirit being. The astral being is actually just like an energetic shell. It still uses electrons. That's why there's all these electrical sensations when you're trying to do the gateway experience. And so that pure spirit form is now not so bound by the gravity emanating from the center of the universe. So now you can actually sort of get past the gravity barrier pushing your form outward. And by getting into the center of the universe, you're exiting time and space, because time and space are conditioned and sort of created by gravity. In fact, time is just a measure of orbits, and orbits is based on gravity. So when you exit gravity, you're there in the eye of the storm, where everything is like sort of static and peaceful. And there's a whole other, you could say, universe there, and they call that the Havona system. And in the center of the Havona system is what is notated as the Isle of Light. And you actually get to travel through like 1 billion worlds here in the Havona system. You get to meet beings that are not of the evolutionary order, but they have just been there since before time. And you'll learn from this being, hey, what's it like to live in this Paradise Havona system? And they're going to explain it to you. You get to hang out, chill, do a podcast with them. And you're still journeying inward and inward in the Havona system until you reach what they call the Central Isle of Light, upon which now you have gotten to the geophysical location, the focal point of infinity, where it emanates from, and you get to experience that. And that's the gist of what it means to become a finaliter. You've reached the final stage of this universe. So the writer of this paper, did you say it was a mighty messenger that it says at the end?
Yeah.
So the writer of this paper, and that's the reason where they kind of break the fourth wall, and they're like, notwithstanding our inability fully to comprehend the nature of the universe, that's because this is an individual being narrating this paper for us and putting these thought forms down. And a mighty messenger is the quote here is that they're part of the ascendant groups, right? Which you are part of. You're an ascender. And they're a class of perfected mortals who have been rebellion tested or otherwise equally proved as to their personal loyalty. All have passed through some definite test of universe allegiance. At some time in their paradise ascent, they stood firm and loyal in the face of disloyalty of their superiors.
Nice.
And
so they're not Agendanters, but they're rebellion tried.
Yeah, I guess they're kind of. I guess what an Agendanter is specific to on your mortal planet. If the rebellion is on your mortal home planet.
Well, I mean, I thought Agendanter means those who can function without seeing the Father.
Yeah, I think a mighty messenger likely would be an Agendanter. I think that's like a badge you get, pretty much. It's like a badge of honor.
I'm saying, like, I'm assuming a lot of the rebellious planets still had like positive ETs on them. So like, if that positive ET is there, yeah, you probably still get the Agendanter badge. But I'm just trying to say, like, there has to be a difference when you have no good ETs on your planet versus if you still have some, you know?
Yeah.
Because we're for real down here. We got nothing.
We're for real down here.
Yeah. The Agendanter says on Jerusalem, the ascenders from these isolated worlds occupy a residential sector by themselves and are known as Agendanters, meaning evolutionary will creatures who can believe without seeing. So it might be relegated to like that first status.
Planets.
Yeah, like planets where but then I don't know, the mighty messengers, when it's talking about their rebellion tested, does that mean they were rebellion tested in the Mirancha worlds, in some sector of the universe?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's pretty similar, but I guess there's how do you become a mighty messenger? Let's see. I'm looking for the final classification. Okay, mighty messengers are chosen from the ascendant mortals of time and space who are among the earlier paradise arrivals. Those who have traversed to Havona. It says they're embraced by the Paradise Trinity in classes of 700,000.
Wow.
100,000 for assignment to each super universe. So it's sort of a commission, I guess. And I mean, that's interesting. Like, if a mighty messenger is a rebellion-tested ascender who like makes it all the way and gets a special assignment, you know, they're mighty because they've already been through the worst of the worst within, you know, the universe, and they're going back out in the universe to serve. So they get this kind of like status assigned to them.
So I remember reading the Mighty Messenger paper to Lee a few months ago, and it's still kind of in my memory. I remember it was because you have this unique ability as like an Agandanter, because you're tested to exhibit faith, and you're loyal, you can be trusted even in the face of uncertainty, not knowing fully what's going on, but you just inherently intuitively know the right thing to do. That's why you're granted this access to take on a role like this, where as a mighty messenger, you can move at incredible speeds across the universe, throughout space. In solitude, it's like you have a unique ability to be in solitude. Maybe if you grew up on a nice, comfy, cozy world in
You're
a
not a little
comfortable,
wuss.
yeah, like in a comfortable, marshmallowy social circle. You've always had friends and loved ones taking care of you and stuff. Solitude would probably be really difficult, but there's some of us that thrive in solitude, and that might be rare just across worlds. So it creates a uniquely rugged type of personality.
Are you talking about the mighty or the solitary messengers? Because I know solitary messengers are
Solitary
like that.
get the
I'm thinking of the
get the
solitary
high
messengers.
speed.
You're right. You're right. Yep. That's what I'm thinking of. Oh shit! So what's
So
the difference?
what this is kind of like what in the video games where you like choose your type. Are you a tanky? Are you a defender? Or are you at all?
Yeah,
What are
Are you a
they?
yeah,
sniper?
Different
Are you a
classes?
medic?
Yeah, medic.
yeah.
Yeah, you get like a
Exactly.
tag when
Oh
you
yeah.
get a bunch of tags. There's a lot of different roles, but there's some top level
Oh,
roles
I'm trying to
that.
get all the ones. When I walk in the
Oh man.
building, I'd be like, "Where the fuck did he
Oh
get those
man,
from? I've never
and
even seen that shit."
like, are they gonna make us
For a
pick
new order?
one, or are we gonna be like, I want them all, I want to catch them all?
Yeah, right.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna try to catch them all for sure.
But I
Well,
guess it's
I
like,
wonder about I I wonder about becoming a celestial artist, and it's for like a certain duration of time. I forget what
yeah,
it was, like 10,000 years or something. And after that, you're done. So maybe you have enough time in eternity, if you live forever, to take on whatever roles you're curious about taking
yeah.
on.
Every time I read that celestial artisan part, I think of Scientology and the Sea Org, where they make you sign a contract for 1 billion years.
Do
Yeah,
they really?
Yeah, they make you
Oh
sign a
no.
billion-year contract for your soul after this life to keep like working with them.
it's
Don't
dark.
sell your souls for cinnamon rolls, children.
Too late. I love cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon rolls are tight.
Yeah, I don't like sweets, but I like cinnamon rolls.
Oh, don't even get me started, bro.
But yeah, keep going.
Yeah, we're on section 3 here, classification of
Taylor,
matter.
I think it's your turn. I think you're up.
Did you read last time?
I read last time.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Matter in all universes, excepting in the central universe, is identical. Matter in its physical properties depends on the revolutionary rates of its component members. The number and size of the revolving members, their distance from the nuclear body, or the space content of matter, as well as on the presence of certain forces yet undiscovered on Urantia.
Ooh, that
Ooh,
one little passage there, that last few
yeah.
words piques my curiosity.
And what are the 4 nuclear forces? Is that the right term? 4 nuclear forces? I don't think that's right. Let me look it up. 4 fundamental forces we currently classify
It's like strong nuclear, weak nuclear, gravity, and electromagnetic, I think.
Yeah, let's see. Gravitational, electromagnetic, strong nuclear force, weak nuclear force.
Okay. Could
Yeah,
that be it,
so
or
Yeah,
is
it's
there
crazy.
is there more? Like, is gravity even a force, or is our
That's what I was
understanding
saying
so
yesterday.
limited?
Remember, like, is gravity even a force, or is it just like a byproduct of a couple forces that we don't understand yet?
Yeah, because I know we've discovered a lot since the 1930s. When this paper is probably written before that, like in the late 20s or something. We've
yeah, was
discovered a lot since
Einstein's
then, but
relativity out at that point?
Yeah, that's a good question.
good
Like,
question.
if half
That's
these
another
papers
question.
are before Einstein's relativity, but still talking about relativity, that'd be a good
Ooh,
episode.
special
Yeah.
relativity 1905, general relativity 1915. Ooh,
Oh shit! So
Okay.
maybe the midwayers were around Einstein using his concepts.
yeah. I
I,
bet
I wouldn't be
maybe
surprised.
they waited to really all Einstein's life. They knew that he had the potential to get that new shit out, and then once he did, they were like, all right, now we can write the science papers of the Urantia book. Call
Oh,
the mighty messenger, get him on the line.
yeah, all while Caligasty is trying to take over the planet through World War II. It must have been crazy back then.
Yeah. Okay. In the varied suns, planets, and space bodies, there are 10 grand divisions of matter. Automatonic matter, the prime physical units of material existence, the energy particles which make up electrons. Whoa. Is that real? This is something unknown. I guess we kind of
Yeah,
know. We know that there's what makes up
there's like
electrons. We call that,
quarks, gluons, leptons, muon. Like there's smaller subatomic particles. I think we're onto that now.
I think, let's see, what is this one says
But
electrons
I
are
don't think
elementary particles, meaning they're not made of anything smaller. Then what's the quarks and muons part of quantum scale? Is that the neutron?
maybe those make up protons and neutrons.
Hmm.
Of electronic matter. Oh. Yeah, which go to make up electrons. So ultramatonic matter is probably what we're identifying as gluons and quarks and stuff, perhaps.
Well,
You know,
he's
I
saying that that's not the case. He's saying that science is saying that electrons don't break down to smaller, according to Google or whatever he's using.
Yeah, this
yeah, I mean, this
is
is
actually from
ultimate.
let's see, energy.gov. Let's see.
Oh, well, you can't trust that. They got aliens.
They got the anti-grav.
Yeah.
Electrons are elementary. Unlike protons, neutrons, and nuclei have atoms, electrons are elementary. This means they're
I believe
not made
that.
of even smaller particles. Well, we'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, I mean, they at least haven't observed that yet. You know, I wanted to mention you were talking about Einstein around this time period. There was also Maxwell, um, James Maxwell. He was the scientist that created the Maxwell equations, and
Yeah.
originally,
Him and Planck.
yeah, and he was like revolutionary in understanding displacement currents and electromagnetic waves and defining light as an electromagnetic wave and all this stuff. But he was influenced. I forget who influenced him, but someone who was paying him influenced him to modify his equations to make them symmetrical, which threw off his theories, which allowed for tapping into space to create infinite energy, tapping into 0 point energy, something like that. When he modified that, that became like inconceivable in modern academic
Wait,
science.
so making it symmetrical made it worse?
Yeah, some about the way his equations were modified. It's way over my
I
head,
know
his
what they
actual
did.
equations. What they
They
do.
Oh,
changed this.
yeah.
They changed the curved lines to straight lines. They quantized it.
Yeah,
What if that's
yeah.
exactly what they did?
The whole conspiracy is that he was basically bought out to change his equations, and now we make our science fit our equations rather than making our equations fit observational science. So whatever we observe out in
Ooh,
space, it
I
has
see.
to fit what we write on a chalkboard for it to make sense to us. But math is really just our framework of understanding, which is limited, and it might not accurately reflect the intuitive nature of reality. And so the whole conspiracy is that was to hide anti-gravity early on so no one would discover it because they're using the wrong equations.
I mean,
Settle down, Terrence Howard.
yeah, that was Terrence's kind of claim, is that like, even though our current functions work on a lower scale, as soon as we get into far interstellar distance calculations, even like other planetary bodies,
You're gonna be
the
off.
formulas aren't accurate enough. They're like, and it's because kind of like what I use the word quantize, which is like, let me define that.
Quantized, like
So to
individual.
map a continuous or infinite range of values into a smaller set of discrete finite steps. So think of this like pixels. Pixels of a photo is a quantization of all the photons that were actually there. And, you know, if we have
Okay.
more pixels, we can represent sort of a more, we're capturing the state of more photons at once. But when you quantize reality, it's just because you're taking a snapshot to represent sort of in a smaller way and like focus in, but you end up losing the full state of, you could say, that energy system. It's like representing a curved line with like discrete steps, like up, 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 in little steps, but then when you zoom out, it looks like a curved line. But when you zoom in for really far, it's actually like in little steps.
Yeah, like I've heard, there is no true sine wave as we depict them. It's really just a square wave with rounded edges that's increasingly like smaller square waves to where you don't really notice.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But
And
it's like you're
in
saying, it's like increasing the resolution.
digital land, the reason that's the case is because we're using binary calculations. I know
So
you can
limited.
visualize it if you were to zoom into a sound wave on like a waveform software. The samples are recorded as, you know, it looks like a sine wave, but when you zoom in far enough, the samples are actually flat steps. And that's where I was getting
Interesting.
that example from. And it's just the way that digital representation of data ends up working.
So how reflectivity works.
So we'll continue here. So sub-electronic matter, the explosive and repellent stage of the solar supergases.
Cool.
Electronic matter, the electrical stage of material differentiation, electrons, protons, and various other units entering into the varied constitution of the electronic groups. Subatomic matter, the matter existing extensively in the interior of the hot suns.
Wow.
Shattered atoms found in the cooling suns and throughout space. Ionized matter, individual atoms stripped of their outer chemically active electrons by electrical, thermal, or X-ray activities and by solvents.
This is so cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is crazy. It's like science class on a cosmic scale.
It is.
This is getting me back into
Welcome
science.
to Cosmic Science. Bill Nye, the Marantra guy.
Is this what the Watchers taught to humanity? Atomic matter, the chemical stage of elemental organization, the component units of molecular or visible matter. The molecular stage of matter, matter as it exists on Urantia in a state of relatively stable materialization under ordinary conditions. Radioactive matter, imagine dragons, the disorganizing tendency and activity of the heavier elements under conditions of moderate heat and diminished gravity pressure. Collapsed matter, the relatively stationary matter found in the interior of the cold or dead suns. This form of matter is not really stationary. There's still some automatonic, even electronic activity, but these units are in very close proximity and their rates of revolution are greatly diminished.
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that there can be automatomic activity and non-electronic activity. So like, could you have a soup of automatons floating around in space? What would that look like on a sensor?
I mean, this said automatonic and electronic activity. Is that, you were saying?
Yeah, but why would you say
automatonic, but
and
not
electronic? Would that be like, would there be circumstances where there's automatomic and non, you know?
Perhaps
like, why would
because
you?
I perceive the automatonic level as what we would consider to be like the ether, pretty much. And so I don't even know if we could detect something like that.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
I was wondering if you had misheard me, because it says there is still some automatonic, even electronic activity. Did you thought I said
Oh, yeah. I
not
think so.
like
And
yeah,
oh, well,
even
no, I
or
thought no, like not even like automatonic, even electron activity. So
mm,
it's like kind of saying that there's certain states that there's only automatonic, and in other states there's even electronic activity. So it's like I'm like, oh, okay. I thought you could only have automatons with electrons, but I guess not.
I see. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can
like
have states
the
of pure automatons.
there can be no like electrons sort of moving, but there's still automatonic activity, whatever
And what's
that would
that look
mean.
like?
Yeah.
voids of space.
And I wonder, like, automatons, is there a distance between them? Because with atoms, we like to say there's a bunch of distance, between the nucleus and the electrons. In fact, there's more empty space than filled space. What is the distance between
Yeah.
automatons? Or are automatons like, maybe it could make sense that there is no distance between them?
I wonder because the Urantia book talks about pervaded space and unpervaded space and how space needs to be primed with space potency before the groundwork can be laid for matter to form and all that. And also, we
The
understand,
absoluta.
I guess scientists understand that those voids, you know how there's like filaments of galaxies, and then you got those big super voids where there are like no galaxies. Apparently,
Yeah,
those are,
it says there's like miles in between every atom.
yeah, and they're like particles are traveling super fast, so it's technically warm or even hot, even though it's like total vacuum, nothing there because whatever particles are there
What?
traveling super fast
You
to
can
get to
still
the
feel
next
that
spot.
heat because there's such less what? That's crazy to
Yeah,
think about.
apparently galaxies, you think stars are tremendously hot and plasma filaments are hot, but galaxies are in the cooler regions of space because they're condensing like water droplets in a rain cloud. It's pretty trippy.
That's
That makes me
crazy.
wonder, is there life out there in the voids of space? Cosmic whales?
The foregoing classification of matter pertains to its organization rather than to the forms of its appearance to created beings. Neither does it take into account the pre-emergent states of energy, nor the eternal materializations on paradise and in the central universe.
Cool. All right. I'll pick up this next one. 4. Energy and matter transmutations. Light, heat, electricity, magnetism, chemism, energy, and matter are, in origin, nature, and destiny, one and the same thing, together with other material realities as yet undiscovered on Urantia. We do not
As
fully.
yet undiscovered on your ranch. I love that.
They keep poking us with that. We do not fully comprehend the almost endless changes to which physical energy may be subject. In one universe, it appears as light, in another, as light plus heat, in another, as forms of energy unknown on Urantia. In untold millions of years, it may reappear as some form of restless, surging electrical energy or magnetic power. And still later on, it may again appear in a subsequent universe as some form of variable matter going through a series of metamorphoses, to be followed by its outward physical disappearance in some great cataclysm of the realms. And then, after countless ages and almost endless wandering through numberless universes, again may this same energy reemerge and many times change its form and potential. And so do these transformations continue through successive ages and throughout countless realms. Thus matter sweeps on, undergoing the transmutations of time, but swinging ever true to the circle of eternity, even in long even if long prevented from returning to its source. It is ever responsive thereto, and it ever proceeds in the path ordained by the infinite personality who sent it forth. Okay, so about that paragraph, I love how poetic and beautiful it is, but also the very concept of what it's portraying, I feel like it it answers a few things and it presents a few more questions because with every question that's answered, several more questions reappear. Um, for one, it is reaffirming that the laws of thermodynamics, as we understand them, are correct. Energy is never created or destroyed. It's all just recycled and appears in different forms. But one of the big arguments towards uh, 0 point energy or uh, like limitless power, free energy, something like that, is that, well, you can't get free energy. Well, what if that energy is just coming from a source that's not immediately obvious, but like
Hmm.
Tesla said, connecting machinery to the wheelwork of nature, maybe our planet moving through space is generating energy we haven't tapped into yet. But
Yeah,
I feel like the concept of that paragraph could be giving us a hint there that that's something we could unlock. The
true
power
that.
cen-
It's an interesting thought form. Yeah, like how to get free
yeah,
energy if, mathematically it seems impossible, but you just got to find the right source, got to tap into the right
yeah.
source.
Just got to tap into it. It's all around us.
I mean, it could be something as stupid and clever as like, you just need three pieces of nickel at exactly 5.6666692 millimeters away from each other. And for some weird reason, it
Yeah,
creates
right.
0 point. You just haven't done it yet. They're like, oh,
I wouldn't be
that's weird.
surprised.
Muon solar
Just
panels, capture them
yeah,
muons,
yeah.
underutilized.
No, it's like there's some stupid reason if you put like three pieces of iron in a triangle 6.2 feet apart, and then put like a ruby crystal 13 feet apart, and then put a light source over here and turn it on, it just gives you gravity. You're like, what the fuck? Why? We don't know. It just works. Like, I wonder how many of those tricks are out there that are pretty simple. We just don't know.
It's
I
like the
uh I
element
s-
115 thing.
Yeah, yeah, like that, and the whole structure Bob Lazar witnessed. It was, like
Hmm.
you said, D-Bake, just this clever arrangement of elements that we should be able to understand. Um, Shauna in the comments here says, when Trump was running for president this last time, he mentioned energy should be free for everyone. I agree. Hell yeah, let's see it. I mean, I would hope that's not an empty promise because right now we're pretty concerned with oil, and I understand everything would collapse in our current state where we're not prepared to go on without oil, but let's see a push towards free power for everyone. Even a small nuclear reactor in everyone's basement could solve that problem. Something like that. We could do something. um, anyway,
Well, it was
I
apparently it
digress.
was Mr. Trump's uncle, Dr. John Trump, who was when Tesla died and the FBI took his documents.
Oop.
Yep.
Dr. Trump was enlisted to review the confiscated papers to
Whoa.
see
He
if
was
they
asked
contained
personally to
secret
go into
military
the apartment
weapons. Mm.
and like recover
Hmm.
the documents and look with his own hands and find the document of a secret weapon that can like atomize something, turn something into like pure atoms, like a death ray.
Weaponize it.
Missing
Freaking
Yeah.
Jurassic
papers.
Park. Can we weaponize it?
Will that be in the UFO
Interesting.
files?
Right? That's going to be the final tranche, the new word we all learned.
How to make free
Yeah,
energy.
Donald Trump, he brags about it all the time. I think he bragged about it on Joe Rogan's podcast.
I you're refreshing my memory. I
He
think I
actually
remember
has
hearing
a
that.
369 tattoo on his left cheek.
Oh, you seen it?
Few
Facts.
have seen it.
Facts. You have
Taylor
seen
remote
it.
You were
viewed
on Epstein Island.
it.
Yeah. Those on the
We
island
knew
know.
it. We knew
Ask the
it.
island boys.
Island
Yeah. Oh
boys.
God.
Just, a friend saw it.
Sure.
the
How do you have friends that are on Epstein Island? All right, whatever. Keep going.
The power centers and their associates are much concerned in the work of transmuting the automaton into the circuits and revolutions of the electron. These unique beings control and compound power by their skillful manipulation of the basic units of materialized energy, the automatons. They are masters of energy as it circulates in this primitive state. In liaison with the physical controllers, they are able to effectively control and direct energy even after it is transmuted to the electrical level, the so-called electronic stage. But their range of action is enormously curtailed when electronically organized energy swings into the whirls of the atomic systems. Upon such materialization, these energies fall under the complete grasp of the drawing power of linear gravity. Interesting. So maybe the physical controllers operate in areas where there aren't that many atoms. So maybe they stay away from like molecular clouds and nebulas and stuff, and they go out into empty space to do whatever transformations they need to do.
Like this quote immediately made me think of Metatron, and I think D-Vic, you've pointed this out before. The Keys of Enoch says Metatron is the creator of the electron.
Exactly.
And you have said before he's probably one of these power center beings.
Whoa.
Because they're the ones who transmute the automaton into the circuits and revolutions of the electron. And that actually makes sense. I always wonder, like, creator of the electron, like, what do you mean? Like, aren't electrons just in every universe? Like, who's out there creating them? But I guess these beings actually play a role in like they're flipping automatons. They're like mixing it up in the lab, and then they like suck it in their left nostril and meditate on it, and when it comes out, it's got electrons spinning.
That's interesting. So when we talk about our great scientists, Einstein and Maxwell and all that, the celestials are like, oh, and this is the Metatron particle. He had this eureka moment. I know how to move forward the next stage of the evolution of matter. How about get this guy's the electron? Oh, great idea. He pitched it in a boardroom meeting. I'm glad you clarified. I thought you were talking about Megatron at first.
Well,
that too.
Yeah, the keys further go on to say that, Metatron was the creator of the electron. And then he goes on to say that I think that there's like he says there's an unknown particle to like scientists today. This is written in the 70s. And he calls it the Metatron.
Ooh, I like it.
And that I always connected that to the automaton. Mm-hmm. And that they're both talking about the same thing. He calls it like it's a super electron, he says. I'm like, wow, okay. So another cross-correlating point from the Keys of Enoch and the Urantia contact.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And that's why I always say, like, I think Metatron's like a master physical architect or a master universe architect that they talk about in the Urantia book. And they have power controllers, and all these controllers report to him. So he'd be like the head honcho of all these physical controller beings. And that Metatron might be one of those head honchos.
Such a cool concept.
I'm thinking about like the root word Metatron, like because automaton and Metatron might actually kind of mean the same thing. Because let's see, an electron, a Metatron is like, let's see, define meta. Let's see, something self-referential or takes an abstract bird's eye view of itself. A higher level analysis, a meta joke.
And Tron, what?
Like if it's like there's electrons, there's this tron, there's that tron, and then there's a metatron, which is like more abstracted, which I feel like the word itself kind of points to
like automaton, something meta.
Yeah.
And Metatron's the name of an angel too, like of antiquity. I just think Metatron's in the Quran a lot.
The suffix tron originates from ancient Greek, where it functions as an instrument suffix meaning an instrument, tool, or means for doing something. So it's like a means for meta, a means for self-referential observation.
Yeah, and also the Greek word meta, meaning beyond, after, or behind.
Or behind. Okay.
So like, what is beyond the electron? What is beyond the atom?
What is behind the
automaton,
electron?
the Metatron. It's so like meta.
That's so meta.
So meta. The original meta. Why did they change it to metaverse? What's up with that?
Oh, you mean why they
cultural
use that term?
appropriation.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, like, why is Zuckerberg all of a sudden interested in this concept, calling his shit meta, just making a so conspiratorial connection?
Secretly in their underground Facebook bunkers, they're doing some Metatron experiments. I know it.
Because they're beyond reality. They're virtual reality.
Yeah, that's probably as deep as that goes. Gravity acts positively on the power lanes and energy channels of the power centers and the physical controllers, but these beings have only a negative relation to gravity, the exercise of their anti-gravity endowments. Throughout all space, cold and other influences are at work, creatively organizing automatons into electrons. Heat is the measurement of electronic activity, while cold merely signifies absence of heat. Comparative energy rest, the status of the universal force charge of space provided neither emergent energy nor organized matter were present and responding to gravity. Gravity presence and action is what prevents the appearance of the theoretical absolute zero, for interstellar space does not have the temperature of absolute zero. Throughout all organized space, there are gravity responding energy currents, power circuits, and automatonic activities, as well as organizing electronic energies. Practically speaking, space is not empty. Even the atmosphere of Urantia thins out increasingly until, at about 3,000 miles, it begins to shade off into the average space matter in this section of the universe. The most nearly empty space known in Nebadon would yield about 100 automatons. Hey, there you go. That kind of answered your question about the spacing of automatons. The equivalent of 1 electron in each cubic inch. Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Such scarcity
So
of
one
matter is
electron
regarded.
in 1 inch. Wow, it's not a lot.
Yeah,
What does that look like? Like a cloud?
it would look like nothing. Such scarcity of matter is regarded as practically empty space. Temperature, heat, and cold is secondary only to gravity in the realms of energy and matter evolution. Automatons are humbly obedient to temperature extremes. Low temperatures favor certain forms of electronic construction and atomic assembly, while high temperatures facilitate all sorts of atomic breakup and material disintegration. Okay, that kind of explains why I'm blanking on the word, but when you like cryogenically cool electromagnets and they can levitate, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I forget the word
Oh,
for it, but
God
that
damn it. Yeah, I know the word.
yeah, right on the tip of my brain, but that could explain why like we're able to achieve certain special effects with crazy cool temperatures.
Superconductor, magnetic
Thank you.
Yeah,
levitation.
yeah.
Superconductivity.
Magnetic,
Yeah.
yeah, superconducting levitation.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Um, When subjected to the heat and pressure of certain internal solar states, all but the most primitive associations of matter may be broken up. Heat can thus largely overcome gravity stability, but no known solar heat or pressure can convert automatons back into puissant energy. The blazing suns can transform matter into various forms of energy, but the dark worlds and all outer space can slow down electronic and automatonic activity to the point of converting these energies into the matter of the realms. Okay. Certain electronic associations of a close nature, as well as many of the basic associations of nuclear matter, are formed in the exceedingly low temperatures of open space, being later augmented by association with larger accretions of materializing energy. Throughout all of this never-ending metamorphosis of energy and matter, we must reckon with the influence of gravity pressure and with the anti-gravity behavior of the automatonic energies under certain conditions of temperature, velocity, and revolution. Temperature, energy currents, distance, and the presence of the living force organizers and the power directors also have a bearing on all transmutation phenomena of energy and matter. The increase of mass in matter is equal to the increase of energy divided by the square of the velocity of light. In a dynamic sense, the work which resting matter can perform is equal to the energy expended in bringing its parts together from paradise, minus the resistance of the forces overcome in transit and the attraction exerted by the parts of matter on one another. I would love to get a
Isn't that
mega
crazy?
brained math nerd super
Dude,
physicist
you
to read
skipped
this
over the
real quick.
most important word in those last 2 paragraphs.
Did I?
It's what this whole episode is about. Or you didn't pause on it.
What?
It's in the first paragraph. Paragraph 10 there. Anti-gravity. This is it. This is the 0 point
yeah.
secret. How do you make anti-gravity? Throughout all this never-ending metamorphosis of energy and matter, we must reckon with the influence of gravity pressure and with the anti-gravity behavior of the automatonic energies under certain conditions of temperature, velocity, and revolution.
Dude, thank you.
There
Very
it is right there.
observant.
Yeah.
I breezed right past that. You're right. It's hidden in there. It's a little Where's Waldo book. Where's the secret hidden?
Maybe this is what you
maybe
were...
element 115 has an easy way for the electron to convert into automatons when you bombard it. Because remember, Bob Lazar says you bombard the 115 and it creates these energy waves.
Yeah.
Maybe it's talking about gravity pressure and anti-gravity behavior of automatonic energies under certain conditions of temperature, velocity, and revolution. So if you blast 115 with certain temperature, velocity, and revolution, maybe it will release automatonic energies, which could be anti-gravitic.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. Remember how he was describing in the documentary it was like a gravity gun or something, like some gravity cannon that was sending out the gravity waves, and it was under the influence of that the what was it, the orb started levitating or whatever.
Did we just figure out anti-grav? Holy shit.
Gravity pressure.
Now we just need some automatons, bro.
They're all around us. But how do you generate gravity waves? That's the question.
Just meditate, bro.
Yeah, man. It's like this whole paragraph. It's like while they're narrating this, meanwhile, they know you can build UFOs and get anti-grav, but this is all they tell us. This is all they tell us. They're keeping the secret of anti-grav from us. The angels are the reason why we don't have anti-grav.
We got to be ready for it, and only those with the keys can be prepared.
The 144,000, they know how to do it.
Yeah.
The elect shall know the secrets of anti-gravity.
Hey, maybe in a few years we'll have some breakthrough discovery from the Boogosphere and we'll unlock everything. Did y'all hear about that from Dr. Stephen Greer, the breakthrough discoveries this year on the Boogosphere?
What's the results?
Dude, so the Boogosphere, when they did a CT scan, so it was discovered in Buga, Colombia. It was brought over to Mexico to these universities where they were studying it. They immediately did a CT scan and it had this weird hourglass kind of shape inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
That has since, over the course of this past year, because I was like late last year, that a new CT scan revealed the internal shape is changed and leveled out to just a sphere with all these little filamentary tendrils going through it. And they believe they described it as some kind of cold plasma that's began to settle inside of it. Lining the outside of the Boogosphere are these little black holes, and microscopic scans show those are littered with these like
fiber optics.
Yeah, fiber optics, and it's like 6-fold, 8-fold, 10-fold little patterns. And
It's supposed to be really old, right?
Yeah, they sampled
12,000 or something.
Yeah, they sampled some resin inside of that, and it was like 12,500. Something crazy like that. 12,500 BC or 12,500 years ago is apparently what they dated this Boogosphere to. So either it was built by us that long ago, or it was some newly commissioned probe out in space that made its way down here.
Resin?
I don't know. That's very, very interesting.
Was it like resin that they think was like part of the building process, or
yeah, it
like
was part of it. Yeah, it was like resin holding the fiber optics, or some resin coating.
I'm just wondering, like, what if it was made 50 years ago, but the ETs who made it used resin that was 12,000 years old, because they're like, guys, we've had this forever. We know it doesn't go bad, but we need to use this. Go make some Boogospheres, okay? Put them out there. Make extra. Let the humans have one.
gotta
We don't
get through
care.
this
Use the
guys.
resin. We
This
need
is old stuff.
we need space in the
Just
warehouse.
true.
Use the resin.
Stuff only has a shelf life of 14,000 years. We got to use it up. That's great.
Meanwhile, Stephen Greer, the resin's 12,000 years old.
The existence of pre-electronic forms of matter is indicated by the 2 atomic weights of lead. The lead of original formation weighs slightly more than that produced through uranium disintegration by way of radium emanations. And this difference in atomic weight represents the actual loss of energy in the atomic breakup. That's pretty interesting there. I understood more that that does kind of date when this paper was created, because we know it was after the discovery of uranium and radium, which I believe was in the 20s or something.
Okay.
When was uranium discovered?
Atomic
Oh,
breakup.
1780.
Pray that doesn't happen to
1789.
you.
Like,
1789. So, all right. And radium was 1898. So I'm full of shit. Don't listen to me. I
don't
guess
listen to him.
I'm thinking of something else. The relative integrity of matter is assured by the fact that energy can be absorbed or released only in those exact moments which Urantia scientists have designated quanta. Oh, talking about some quantum physics here. This wise provision in the material realm serves to maintain the universes as going concerns. I don't know what that means. To maintain the universes as going concerns. Okay. The quantity of energy taken in or given out when electronic or other positions are shifted is always a quantum or some multiple thereof, but the vibratory or wave-like behavior of such units of energy is wholly determined by the dimensions of the material structures concerned. Such wave-like energy ripples are 860 times the diameters of the ultimatons, electrons, atoms, or other units thus performing. The never-ending confusion attending the observation of the wave mechanics of quantum behavior is due to the superimposition of energy waves. 2 crests can combine to make a double high crest, while a crest and a trough may combine, thus producing mutual cancellation. Dude, just to think this was written in the early 1900s.
I wonder, do we understand this? I mean, they kind of say that they're never going to reveal something too profound in this science. Like, they're not going to give us the formula for anti-grav, but they'll tell us, like, the abstract. But this abstract seems interesting. I don't know, because people always talk about double slit experiment, the confusion of quantum, but I've never kind of, I guess, seen the explanations, and this seems interesting.
For what, the explanation for why the double slit experiment works?
Or why it's confusing, like why the observer effect happens. Like, is this the secret?
It's like the only explanation is consciousness affects reality, and scientists don't have a good explanation for that yet. But maybe reality is consciousness.
Ooh, so deep.
Or are they quantum trending us? Did they just throw the word quantum around like the rest of the New Agers?
Quantum trending like the New Agers.
Quantum trending.
Maybe pass that paragraph, unless you already are, maybe pass these paragraphs into AI and be like, summarize. Make it make sense.
Yeah, I just did. I said like, hey, does this explanation like match anything that we kind of understand? Now, this is AI gaslighting you because it's trained on non-zero point energy mathematics, so be aware. But it said, not really. It uses some real quantum wave language, but the explanation does not match modern physics in several key ways.
Mm-hmm.
The parts that roughly match known physics, energy changes can be quantized, wave interference is real, where it doesn't match known physics. Okay, so this would be the secret sauce that it's revealing. Electronic or other positions are shifted is too classical. All right, this is getting... The wave-like behavior is not determined simply by the dimensions of material structures. Now it's giving me formulas, so this is a little much for me at close to midnight. I'm not gonna read all that AI slop. Not when we got Tesla Now when we got Tesla's secret papers on the line.
Yep. D-Bake, I believe I'm passing the ball to you.
Alrighty. Do we want to keep going? How long have we been going for?
Let's see here. Looks like we are about an hour and a half in there, so this could be a good place to end it.
Okay. So I was wondering how you guys feeling. We can end it now. Keep going.
If you wanna read the maybe like the part about these rays and stuff.
This one isn't too long. If you could.
Oh yeah, this is pretty short.
If we don't derail too much.
Give it a shot.
Number
5. Let's do it. Wave energy manifestations. In the super universe of Arvantan, there are 100 octaves of wave energy.
Oh, I love that.
One of these. What's up?
I love that. I just love that sentence you just said. 100 octaves of energy manifestation.
Of these 100 groups of energy manifestation, 64 are wholly or partially recognized on Urantia. The sun's rays constitute 4 octaves in the super-universe scale.
Wow.
The visible rays embracing a single octave, number 46 in this series. The ultraviolet group comes next, while 10 octaves up are the X-rays, followed by the gamma rays of radium. 32 octaves above the visible light of the sun are the outer space energy rays, so frequently commingled with their associated high energized minute particles of matter. Next, downward from the visible sunlight appear the infrared rays, and 30 octaves below are the radio transmission group.
Dude, I know I said I wasn't going to derail, but that's a really cool paragraph there. It kind of gives us a ruler for measuring the electromagnetic spectrum and where to discover the blind spots, because it gives us like 30 octaves up, 30 octaves down, and we know there's some blind spots that we actually haven't even discovered yet. So that's kind of comforting to know we haven't discovered everything.
An octave, can't we just like double it to know like what the frequency would actually be?
That is
but we can't measure the difference yet with our instruments, and that's why we don't know about it.
That is apparently what John Worrell Keeley did in the late 1800s. And in the 1860s, he, studied music theory. He was an organ builder and a mad scientist inventor. And he was able to, in these vacuum pressure vessels, dissociate the water molecule and achieve these crazy resonances because of his understanding of music theory. And he has it. I won't bring it out because I printed it out illegally in this giant binder. I didn't buy the book. I'm sorry. I want to buy the book, but
oh my god, dude! You think somebody's gonna watch this and get you?
This is my confession stand. But the book lays out. He actually charted out like sonothermity, where you get heat from sound, and then sonoradiosity and sonoluminescence, where you get light from sound. And it's really interesting. And he goes on and up to these crazy vibrations and frequencies that modern science doesn't recognize. So perhaps he was onto something. I mean, the language he's speaking kind of checks out. It's just, it was lost to time. It was buried by those damn theosophists. They raided his lab and stole his equipment. Anyway.
The theosophist. Okay, so this is a little image generated about these spectrums, these energy spectrums.
Dude. This is
cool. Maybe the unknown zones are what we would call superluminal light, as the Keys of Enoch puts it. Also, the Ultimate Atlantis book, A Dweller on Two Planets, talks about how the Atlantean understanding of energy was that it's all one thing at different frequency rates, and they understood how to take even the frequency of sound to up to like all the way up to light, like to transmute it, you could say. And I think we've talked about this a little bit before. There's some videos online of a sound wave interacting with water, and in the center light starts to form because they're like hitting it with the right frequency.
Yeah, the sonoluminescence video.
Yeah, the sonoluminescence. And maybe I can pull that up.
But yeah, you made this last night, right? When we were talking, you just like threw the text in the
This
in
one is
ChatGPT.
just from now, from this specific
Dude.
quote about the octaves.
Yeah, how good is that, dude?
It's impressive. I did notice a mistake. They put ultraviolet before visible light and after infrared. And, you know, obviously they didn't include microwaves and stuff like that, but it's close enough. You could probably like ask it to modify to more closely align with our current electromagnetic scale.
I
But
see.
this is useful. I want this on my wall.
Yeah, it's not in the right order. Oh, but what I was gonna say is that the Poseidians, the Atlanteans, Statlins, apparently they classified psychic phenomena and consciousness energy at the superluminal speed, like faster than light. So apparently, when we can measure speeds like faster than light, maybe using gravitational wave principles, that is the point where we can really start to measure consciousness apart from the body and the movements of it beyond the electronic stage.
That's funny. We have the word superluminal, and it sounds good. It sounds even like scientific and elegant. People would rather use FTL, faster than light. Like, it's such an American way to say it. I like superluminal.
As an acronym, we love our acronyms.
FTL, baby. That's cool. Oh shit, is it me?
Yes.
Back to the read. What's that?
Wave-like energy manifestation.
Wave-like energy manifestations, from the standpoint of 20th century Urantia's scientific enlightenment, may be classified into the following 10 groups. Infra-ultimatomic rays.
Oh, you nailed it.
The borderland revolutions of automatons as they begin to assume definite form. This is the first stage of emergent energy in which wave-like phenomena can be detected and measured. Ultimatonic rays. The assembly of energy into the minute spheres of the automatons, associations, vibrations, and the content of space, which are discernible and measurable. And long before physicists ever discover the automaton, they will undoubtedly detect the phenomena of these rays as they shower in upon Urantia. These short and powerful rays represent the initial activity of the automatons as they are slowed down to that point where they veer towards the electronic organization of matter. As the automatons aggregate into electrons, condensation occurs with the consequent storage of energy.
You know what?
I wonder if those are like neutrinos or something.
Yeah,
you read my mind. I was going to say that answered another one of our questions. Can we detect it? And yeah, that could be that neutrino detector we talked about last episode.
They're trying to figure out what those are, right?
Yeah.
And they have to use really sensitive installations. You posted a picture of like an underground installation that's like
the Antarctica one, the HARP.
I don't think it's at the HARP facility. You know, they got all kinds of crazy bases in the Antarctic, but
yeah,
neutrino detector.
The neutrino detector.
I can share that again since we're on that topic. Really cool looking deep underground facility. There's a few different ones. This one here looks perhaps a little smaller. There's a giant one they fill with water here. They've drained it a bit.
Are those boogospheres?
They're boogospheres, baby. I heard of a terrible disaster that happened in Japan where they had one of these and one sphere busted and it caused a cascade reaction that rippled out and every single one of these spheres exploded.
What are they like gas in there? Why would
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
explode?
You're right. There's like compressed gas inside of these.
Oh, okay. The gas is supposed to catch the neutrinos.
Yeah, it just like measures the vibrations inside of it, but it's got to be deep underground, so there's no interference from anything else.
And these neutrinos, like, they go through the planet, right? They like
Yeah, they pass right through us constantly.
pass through.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
The
Huh.
Matrix.
Okay, so can we use these automatonic rays? Well, one, do they move faster than light? Gamma
I don't know.
rays. Let's see the light spectrum. Yeah, X-ray group, that stuff is down further. So I would estimate these are moving faster. Maybe they're moving faster than light. And
That looks
that
so
is
magical.
one of the UFO contact cases says that you have to, when you're flying your FTL UFO, you need a sensor that can measure faster than light. You can't use a laser to measure what's
Oh,
ahead of you. And
So you need
need a
a neutrino beam.
yeah. You need
some
a
good Star
muon
Trek
selector.
technology.
Yeah, particle beam, muon.
And in the sport model, in the S4 documentary, they were like, people think these are windows, but they're not. They're like a dark matte material up at the top. And immediately I was like, oh, that's the sensor array. Because when the UFO like turns a certain direction and moves and then kind of moves through, the sensor array needs to like shoot and measure ahead. And probably
Like a
ahead
full
behind.
360
Yeah.
degree. Interesting.
Gotta watch out for those tachyons, though. They're always worried about that in Star Trek. Like, oh no, those
Tachyons.
tachyons.
Yeah. Unknown tachyons. Yeah. All right. The short space rays. These are the shortest of all purely electronic vibrations and represent the pre-atomic stage of this form of matter. These rays require extraordinarily high or low temperatures for their production. There are two sorts of these space rays, one attendant upon the birth of atoms, and the other indicative of atomic disruption. Ooh, nukes. They emanate in the largest quantities from the densest plane of the superuniverse, the Milky Way, which is also the densest plane of the outer universe as well. So Milky Way is the densest plane. We got the densest hood in the cosmos.
Interesting. I kind of wonder if they're when they're talking about the Milky Way in this context, they're talking about like our view of the heavens from Earth, and we see the Milky Way in the sky, and as we're looking
Yeah,
towards
but
that, it's
we
like
don't
super
live
dense.
there. We live in the Sagittarius arm, right?
Yeah, so perhaps
We're still in the Milky Way, but the Sagittarius arm of it, right?
what I'm getting at is they might not be talking about our Milky Way galaxy, but rather the region of space as we look towards the Milky Way, and it's like the densest
Yeah.
region of space. That's my theory anyway, because there's some things in this book that don't make sense when they mention the Milky Way and you're like, the Milky Way is Nebadon. That doesn't make sense if like our galaxy is or whatever, or I think they said Orvonton, like it's like Nebadon is our local universe, but then they're like Orvonton is through the Milky Way or something like that, and it seems to imply the Milky Way galaxy is Orvonton, but I believe that's the implication is actually as we look towards the Milky Way region in space, it's obscured by the Milky Way, so we can't really see past it that well. But that's really Orvonton is like in that direction. That's my theory.
The way I take that last sentence, it's just saying that the Milky Way is part of the superuniverse, Orvonton. Like they emanate in the largest quantities from the densest plane of the superuniverse, the Milky Way. So they're saying the densest plane of the superuniverse is the Milky Way. So the Milky Way is a smaller section than the superuniverse. Oh, obviously, because never mind, I was confusing local universe. Duh, my bad. Because people are equating local universe to Milky Way, not super universe to Milky Way.
Yeah.
We say that the Milky Way is a galaxy, and so
and some people try to say that's the local universe.
Yeah, the densest. I'm just wondering, can we infer anything when it says that the Milky Way is the densest, if we see another denser section, does that mean that's in a different super universe? But maybe
I'm
it's
just
how do we measure the
Well, it
density?
also says which is also the densest plane in the outer universes at the very end too. So we use the densest plane
we dense.
out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe that's why our light's so dense and thick. That's why all the spiritual books that are channeling say your planet's in the densest third dimensional that can possibly exist, you know,
That's right. That is a reoccurring
because we're in a
theme.
dense plane. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. The electronic stage. This stage of energy is the basis of all materialization in the 7 superuniverses. When electrons pass from higher to lower energy levels of orbital revolution, quanta are always given off. Orbital shifting of electrons results in the ejection or the absorption of very definite and uniform measurable particles of light energy, while the individual electron always gives up a particle of light energy when subjected to collision. Wave-like energy manifestations also attend upon the performances of the positive bodies and other members of the electronic stage. All right, so yeah, obviously when electrons change their their spin rate, which puts them in a different state, it gives off of light. It gives you can measure it. It's quantized. It gives off quanta. We knew that from normal physics, but I guess that's just what they're explaining as the electronic stage when it comes to wave
Okay.
energy manifestations. Gamma rays, those emanations which characterize the spontaneous dissociation of atomic matter. The best illustration of this form of electronic activity is in the phenomena associated with radium disintegration. By this time, they don't have nukes yet, right? No, we don't have nukes
Oh
till the
no.
40s, so this book came
You're
out
right.
before nukes. Yeah,
And they talked
so they
about
have to.
atomic dissolution, but
Yeah,
I had that thought too. This is before nukes.
yeah, that's interesting.
They shouldn't have given us that hint.
Yeah, because they're using a bunch of like radium disintegration, atomic dissolution. They're using a lot of metaphors. If we would have had nukes by now, they would have been able to use the nuke metaphor
You're
for a
right.
lot of this. Number 5, gamma rays. No, I already said that. Number 6, the X-ray group. The next step in the slowing down of the electron yields the various forms of solar X-rays together with artificially generated X-rays. The electronic charge creates an electric field. Movement gives rise to an electric current. The current produces a magnetic field. When an electron is suddenly stopped, the resultant electromagnetic commotion produces the X-ray. Interesting. I didn't know that. The X-ray is that disturbance.
Hmm.
The solar X-rays are identical with those which are mechanically generated for the exploring of the interior of the human body, except that they are a trifle longer. Interesting.
Okay, so I guess that's how they discovered the X-rays. They would have like a sheet of some material. I don't know what it is, and they blast a beam of electrons at it, and then it
Yeah,
creates that radiation, and then you're able to see, a
they
skeleton
would
form.
stop. Yeah. Okay.
That's
That
why I
makes sense.
say don't sit too close to the television screen when we had those CRT monitors because you're getting like radiated in the
Microwave?
face.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, see, and microwaves, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
All right.
Yeah, speaking of nuclear, interesting that they chose to name the test site the Trinity site.
Trinity test site. Yeah, I always thought that too.
Yeah.
And we're
What's up
talking
with
about how
that?
all the energy manifests from the Trinity.
I've heard a lot of occult
Yeah, this is
conspiracy
weird
theorist explanations behind that.
because they're religious men. I don't
It was
know.
Robert Oppenheimer that decided to name this Trinity test. A name inspired by the poems of John Donne. Is that a real
What
name?
a cool name.
Who's John Donne?
Oh man,
Yeah.
the conspiracy theorists go wild with this. The nuclear test site was on the same longitudinal coordinates as all these conspiracies like the JFK shootings and the Mormons.
Was it really?
It's all
Wow.
connected, man.
Isn't it like based off like 33 and shit?
Yeah. That's what it is. The 33 and the Freemasons and Trinity's number 3 and
Oh yeah, huh? You're right. Oh shit. Right in front of us the entire time. Um, hmm. All right. So if you have an electromagnetic current and then stop it suddenly, it creates an X-ray. That's the quantized packet that comes from it is an X-ray. Okay. The ultraviolet or chemical rays of sunlight and the various Shauna, what's up, Shauna? For the first time I put my eyes on the chat and saw a message come in. Threw me off for a second. What's going on, chat? The ultraviolet or chemical rays of sunlight and the various mechanical productions. Number 8, the white light. Don't go towards it. The whole visible light of the suns. Number 9, infrared rays. The slowing down of electronic activity is still nearer the stage of appreciable heat. Number 10, Hertzian waves. Those energies utilized on Urantia for broadcasting. Of all these 10 phases of wave-like energy activity, the human eye can react to just one octave, the whole light of ordinary sunlight. That's crazy.
So I just realized I don't think these stages are in order on the spectrum. I think it's just classifying like 10 different manifestations of this energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's one thing you have to remember about the Urantia book. It does that a lot, but our mind wants to put sequence on it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
The so-called ether is merely a collective name to designate a group of force and energy activities occurring in space. Automatons, electrons, and other mass aggregations of energy are uniform particles of matter, and in their transit through space, they really proceed in direct lines. Light and all other forms of recognizable energy manifestations consist of a succession of definite energy particles, definite energy particles which proceed in direct lines, except as modified by gravity and other intervening forces. That these processions of energy particles appear as wave phenomena when subjected to certain observations is due to the resistance of the undifferentiated force blanket of all space, the hypothetical ether, and to the intergravity tension of the associated aggregations of matter. See, I keep thinking of the quantum double slit experiment as I read this.
Yeah.
The spacing of the particle intervals of matter together with the initial velocity of the energy beams establishes the undulatory appearance of many forms of energy matter. What? Because the double slit experiment has to do with particle beams and energy waves. Remember, and it creates a weird pattern behind the double slit.
Yeah.
And it is like an undulatory pattern.
And it was like depending on whether or not we're observing it, I believe
Looking at it.
it was like if we're not observing it, the particles proceed in a straight line through the slits, and it's almost like paintballs flying through these splits, making a splatter. And it's just like a cloud of potentiality. The imprint on the film or whatever we're observing, I guess just the waveform of light. But then when it's under direct observation, it creates a standing wave pattern, like an interference pattern of the wave.
Yeah.
Which is very mysterious. And this is saying the waveforms we're observing are due to the resistance of the undifferentiated force blanket of all space, the hypothetical ether, So that would be what the ether is the undifferentiated force blanket of all space. That's really interesting. So that's the undifferentiated force blanket. So those 10
So you're
categories
saying
were like
all those
the
categories put into
differentiated.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, like those 10 categories we read were the differentiated forms. And the undifferentiated form would be like the ultimatonic or whatever, I guess.
So they're saying that all of these 10 is what equals that quantum double slit experiment. That'd be funny. So like if you could recreate all these conditions artificially and
At the
generated
same
them in a
time.
room, would you be able to recreate our time space and do the quantum double slit experiment, you know? Interesting. All right. The excitation of the content of space produces a wave-like reaction to the passage of rapidly moving particles of matter, just as the passage of a ship through water initiates waves of varying amplitude and interval. Primordial force behavior does give rise to phenomena which are in many ways analogous to your postulated ether. Space is not empty. The spheres of all space whirl and plunge on through a vast ocean of outspread force energy. Neither is the space content of an atom empty. Nevertheless, there is no ether, and the very absence of this hypothetical ether enables the inhabited planet to escape falling into the sun, and the encircling electron to resist falling into the nucleus.
Such a wild argument. So this is one of the cool things about this book is that, especially in the time period it was written, like any other woo-woo new age book, they would jump right on talking about the ether. Like a lot of the theosophical books will just leave it at that. They'll leave it at the ether, but the Urantia book is like, actually, there is no ether. I love it. It adds a lot
Washington
of
Forbes.
credibility. Yeah.
He talks about the ether a lot as a concept in 0 point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
So
concept of
monolithic
ether.
energies that he hasn't figured out yet.
Yeah, like ether is really a catch-all term for what we now understand to be what we would call many names, like the 0 point energy field or the Dirac sea, um, or the vacuum or whatever, like vacuum energy. But it isn't necessarily just one thing, like one force, the ether, or one substance, like some mist. That's called the ether. It's actually just all these different undifferentiated forces interacting with each other. Which doesn't mean we can't still make good use of it and call it ether if we want to.
It's still there. But hell yeah.
That
That's
was
what's
fun.
up. That was tight.
I love
Good little chipping away at it. This is
exercising.
a long chapter,
It is,
right?
but
We got
it's a good,
shit. We still got
7,
pages,
8,
dude.
9.
it's a good brain exercise. I like stretching my brain on this paper.
You were halfway.
Yeah, right. This is like the most consecutive live streams on one paper we've done and stayed with it. I'm proud of us, boys.
Me too. I mean, we'll crack the code by the end of this, so it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Legacy Labs anti-gravity coming soon.
Anti-gravity coming soon.
We're going to
Like and
open source it, and we
Yep,
are not
PHQ.
suicidal.
Exactly, dude.
We are not suicidal, just so you know.
Definitely not. Mm-mm.
If we
We still
die,
got to build these machines, man.
yeah,
Duh. How are we going to build it if we commit suicide, right? Right?
that's right.
Doesn't make any sense in my head, but that would make sense in someone else's
Build
head.
it, and they will come.
If you build it,
Meaning the
they'll come.
CIA, the assassins, the
MIB. Yeah.
I just gotta say, I just saw the last episode of season 1 of the X-Files. It gets good. You got to stick with the X-Files. They go
Okay.
deep into that.
I haven't seen the X-Files.
I haven't touched it yet. I need
I
to
live the
check it out.
X-Files. I don't want to.
I'm the X-Files.
I don't need to taint my personal experience.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
I wake up and eat X-Files in my cereal. Trust me, dog. About it. But yeah, that was good. I like it. This was a good mental exercise. It's all about mind, body, spirit, hitting your potential. And this is really helping me, I guess, just break down and understand reality better instead of walking around and saying, it's all ether. Just explaining everything that you don't know in one generalization. Yeah, it's just
It's
that.
all one,
No.
bro.
Yeah, everything's everything. God's everything. Don't you know? Therefore, I figured it out. I'm the Messiah. Don't you know we're all the same thing? Like, yes, I get it, dude, but you need to break it down a little bit. God put
Yeah.
out many
There's
images and
nothing to
many
figure
pictures.
out. You know everything that
Yeah,
you need to know. You just need to
And-
you're
remember.
perfect just the way you are.
everything is a very profound and true statement, but it's so generalized and it's almost a lazy response that it's almost like a hollow, meaningless answer because it doesn't really tell you anything. This paper tells you something.
It's like
Exactly.
discovering
Tell me
nothing.
something. Yeah.
Because discovery is about only occurs in the world of separation, which in the time-space universe, we are amidst what appears to be separate things, which are all manifestations of automatons. But in order
Ain't
to
nothing but a
in order
bunch of
to,
automatons.
in order to like take action, which is the essence of living, action, you have to figure things out, which intimates that you have to understand the segregata of the nature of the universe. What makes one thing different from another, and how can we predict the movement of mass and motion in order to control our environment? And once we do control our environment, maybe we can exit that environment and no longer be controlled by those rules ourselves. And then we can gain an experience of that all unified. But starting with everything is everything is almost like it's like it's not helpful for time space creatures.
Tell that to the hippies, dude. Well, we're all God, we're all source, so it doesn't matter what you're saying. You just need to know that, and that's it. I'm like, shut up. You should never use the fact that everything is everything as a reason to not learn, because that's just distortion. And yeah, great chapter. I'm excited to pick it up next week. As you can see, guys, we're doing live streams a lot more. We're just cranking them out, just like the olden days. Just like, fuck it, what are we doing? Going live. So we'll probably give you another episode pretty soon. Keep it locked. Definitely one coming this Sunday. We'll be at Contact in the Desert May
Next
28th.
week.
So if you're in California, come check it out. Come check us out. Come hang out with the squad. Love to talk to you face to face. Remember, be strong out there, dog. I know life is hard, but you're a chosen son and daughter of God. Walk with your chest up. Even though you're going to get hit by random obstacles coming from left, right, from behind. You got a team here at Planetary HQ. Reach out. We're your brothers. We'll try to get you to hit your mind, body, spirit potential. And once we all do it together, you'll see the utopia externalize. I'm not here to sell you snake oil. We're just here to really get the job done. That's why we're so motivated about it. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you are not subscribed, do a stanky leg real quick, a 360, and then hallelujah, 13 Hail Marys, and press the subscribe button. I promise you that'll give you $1,000 next week. It'll appear in the mail, random check from God. You know those pastors online that tell you to do shit and they'll just get money out of nowhere. No, but hit that subscribe button and go check out our store. We got a bunch of cool shirts out there. Bunch of cool shirts. Every time you get one of the swaggy merchandise, we will crucify one of the pedophile elites, and we will do it on a live stream that'll be available on our OnlyFans. So those are my
Dark
words of
web.
power. If you guys want to give them anything.
Yeah, what's a lot of fun about reading a paper like this is it isn't something we understand. We don't always have to delve into what we're comfortable with, what we fully understand. Sometimes, it takes a little humility to expose yourself as the noob you are in the universe. I'm not even 1,000 years old yet.
Expose
And
myself.
yeah, it's a great exercise. I think every single one of us human beings should always strive to learn something new every day. Like legit, there are compartmentalized groups of professionals who speak their jargon and their lingo, and they're like, "Oh, I'm a physicist. You wouldn't understand." But I think as the average person, if we strive to understand physics a little more, or we strive to understand culinary arts or construction or engineering or whatever, we become the Vitruvian man. The what do you call it? What do you call it, Debake? The The Renaissance
The
man,
Homo
or woman.
Universalis, the Renaissance man.
The ex
That's
machina.
right. That's right.
Yeah. Homo Universalis, the universal man. The next stage of Homo sapien.
That's what we're moving towards.
Yeah, and for words of power, I'm thinking about unification and separation. And like I said, we live in the separated universe, the time-space evolutionary. Nothing is everything. Everything looks to be something else. In fact, at the lowest level, we're like, well, everything's atoms, but then we're looking closer and it's like, oh, everything's protons have quantum level. Oh, great. We thought everything was atoms, but now it's something else. And
Now
so
they're little quantized light packages.
yeah,
What the fuck?
right. And so our goal is to like figure out the source of everything. And the only way to do that is not to throw up our hands and say it's all everything, even though that is a correct conclusion. But we have to make that conclusion by actually associating how all the separate things connect together. What is the tree of life? What's the family tree of the source of the universe? How can we trace back all the separate things to the everything? And like I said, once we can do that, we get the mechanical laws of creation that we can use to make our experience better. That's free energy. That's 0 point. That's free real estate. That's a post-scarcity society on Eridani 82. They have free energy.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
They're a breakaway civilization. That's what Reddit said.
Yeah.
That's what they told us. And with free energy, they don't have wars. Now, can we get
Don't
there?
need 'em.
Or
We can.
or are we gonna sit on our asses, right? Well,
No.
let's figure this out. Let's get Metatronic with it. We're gonna figure out what these automatons are. Put on your muon glasses. Start measuring neutrinos in your sleep. If I can get 100 astral bodies, I guarantee we can catch some neutrinos. If we just like put out our astral hands, form a little group, do an ayahuasca session. Let's catch some neutrinos, man. Thanks for watching,
As we
everybody.
go.
Thanks for watching. Catch some neutrinos on an ayahuasca binge with Tejula out in the wilderness. I'm picturing you in a loincloth right now. No, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time.
Don't picture me
Peace.
in a loincloth, guys.